BMW i3 is going away. BMW pretty much confirmed that they will not be making any more of those after, I believe, 1 more year. So get one if you really want to. We're also going to talk about how cheap you can buy a pretty decent used ones. Now I'll show you some pricing. But with as much as I hate to see an electric car going off the market, I'll tell you why I think it's actually a good thing. All of this is coming up next. Welcome to E4Electric, your #1 source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on the subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, so I probably, if you watch my show for a while, you know I'm not a big fan of the i3. Though, of course, I always say this, I would rather have people drive the i3 than drive any gas car out there, of course. And they've done very well with them. They've sold over 150,000 of them, and they're still kicking butt. The first half of the year, this year, I believe they're 21% over the first half of 2018. So the sales are growing. And in August, the last month, the sales are 30% over the year over year from August of the previous month. So this car is being sold. And I got to tell you, a lot of people love this car. Tom Malogny, that's the Inside EVs contributor who you see on this channel weekly, you know, loves his i3, even though he has a Model 3 now as well. I can, of course, tell you once again why I think the design is extremely poor, especially for the branding of the BMW. And just from the standpoint of a designer, of course, the biggest problem with this is range. I know they started with about 80 miles, but they ended up with about 120, 130 nowadays, which is obviously half of what really bare minimum should be for an electric car. But I think it's a big missed opportunity because you know, if you think about it, you know, it does come with an option of a range extender, and that essentially makes it a plug-in hybrid. Now, if they would have presented this as a plug-in hybrid, I think the overall view of almost everyone, including myself, would be very different on this car, because it would be a plug-in hybrid with the longest electric range out there. And even if the cars that are coming in the market now, which includes Polestar 1, will still not be able to reach that. So I thought if they would have marketed that way, that would have been a huge success. And I think if they would have refreshed it, or maybe not gone with this design and maybe smooth out some of the lines, I know it's a compact car, right? But I gotta tell you, there are not that many things that could be fixed and tweaked where this car actually will look like just kind of your average regular compact car. So I think there was a missed opportunity. Of course, the fact that it was priced around $40,000, where, you know, at some point you could buy a used Model S at that price, and now, of course, there are tons of different alternatives that are just much, much better and longer in range. So I think overall, it definitely missed an opportunity there, and now they're going away. Now, by the way, look at this. I used a BMW i3 with under 30,000 miles. We're talking about pretty relatively brand new. You can pick up under $15,000. This is one of the best deals that I found, literally by going to Auto Trader for like 5 minutes. And this one, I believe, has 29,000 miles, which you can't see in the picture, but look at the price. It's under $13,000 to buy. This one is actually in California, but I've seen a few very similar ones around the country. So you can still have a great deal even when you buy a new one. There are so many incentives. I think Costco and PG&E had really like big $10,000 incentives, and of course $7,500 federal tax. So you could pick up this car in its 20s, or definitely under 30 in some cases. So, you know, I think it's a missed opportunity, but just like I said, a lot of people absolutely love it, especially in Europe. So, but they are deciding not to replace it. And now let me tell you why. And this is where I'm not really sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's good, but let's talk about it. Before that, of course, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byte, and check out their all-electric SUV called M-Byte, coming to the US and Europe starting about $45,000 here, 45,000 euros in Europe once it gets there. But you should get in the queue. Over 50,000 reservations around the world, $0 deposit in about 60 seconds of your time. Fill out the form. The link is in the description of this video. All right, so let's talk about what's going to be happening with why BMW wants to discontinue it. Now, I agree. This car does not really represent what electric cars are, or they should be, and I think this has been almost a disservice to the electric car revolution, because when people, not us, not people who are sold on electric car technology, but people outside of our bubble, when they look at this car, they go like, no, I can buy a car where I don't have to worry about any of this stuff for much cheaper, really half the price. So no, and I don't blame them. Now, BMW says that they want to move forward with electrification, and this is what I think is a good thing. They're promising, I believe, 13 all-electric cars by 2023, which makes me wonder, do they mean like 13 models, or literally selling 13 cars? Because right now, I don't see how the 13 models are going to happen in 3 years, where they're very much behind Audi, Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, obviously Tesla, and a few other brands. I mean, they're really behind. Now, I know their next thing is a electric Mini, which is really not even based on the new platform. This is just going to be basically a gas, a high plug-in hybrid converted into all electric. I just saw it on Frankfurt Auto Show. Still not impressed, but that's their next thing. After that, they're probably going to be coming up with a BMW iX3, which once again is going to be based on the X3, putting the electric parts. So they're not really making a big step. They're just kind of converting their existing plug-in hybrids into all electric cars. We know with the problems with that. And the BMW iNext that they've been dragging to all of the shows, besides, again, I have some issues with some of this design. It's very i3-ish, if you ask me, and the monkey butt front is not really appealing to me, and the IKEA showroom furniture inside. But this is not coming to fruition anytime soon. Now, they have put out a few videos of all of those new all electric cars that they're trying to come up with, actually in winter testing, and this was half a year ago. So it does look like they're trying, but again, gas car powered car transferred into a great try, but they're just behind everybody else. And listen, obviously I'm rooting for everybody. I really want them to do well. I really want to make sure that they do come up with all electric cars, and they know they have to, right? Because everyone and their uncle right now, including all the legacy manufacturers, they're all, especially their German counterparts, coming out with pretty decent all electric cars. Yeah, they're not beating Tesla yet, but they're definitely all very, very viable electric cars. And BMW is just going to lose. BMW is already losing money, and they need to make sure that they stay within the competition. And what they're having in store for us is just not it yet. But I think moving away from the i3, I think is just symbolically a good thing. Just like I said, not a good representative of what the electric car revolution is all about. And at least it also tells me that they realize they need to push forward, and i3 is just not good enough, and it won't be. So I'm not very excited about it. I know some of you might be, so let me know in the comment section. I also want to give a quick shout out to one of my newer Patreons, by the way, Paul Payne. Thank you so much for becoming part of my Patreon community. That's one of the ways how I support myself. I do this full time now, so thank you for supporting me. If you want to become a Patreon, there's a link in the description of this video. You can go to patreon.com/e4electric. You do get to watch me live, and I really do appreciate it. If you can't spare even $1 a month, I do have something else for free besides the Byton reservations, and that is our VIP list. If you get on that list, we send you a free weekly bonus article, some stories, cool story that we just don't have time to fit in this channel or website at e4electric.com. So you can sign up for it at the link in the description of this video, and also you can go to e4electric.com/VAP. All right, let me know your feelings, your happiness, your sorrow about the fact that i3 is going to be no longer. Other than that, we'll see you next time, and remember to stay charged.